The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome each of you to today's featured presentation, People, the Best Investment We Make, brought to you by Charles Schwab. I'm David Testerman with BROKERHUNTER.com, and I'm going to be the moderator for today's webinar. We will be having a Q&A session at the very end of the formal presentation, so make sure to ask any questions you have via the question pane on the webinar toolbar. We're going to try to get to as many of those as we can at the end of the formal presentation, but if for some reason we don't get to your question, we do have a record of every question, and someone from Charles Schwab will be back in touch with you to answer any questions that went unanswered during the formal presentation. Right now, that's the quick housekeeping we have. It's now my distinct pleasure to introduce everyone to Elisa Monroe. Elisa is the Managing Director in Talent Acquisition with Charles Schwab, and she will be the host today for the featured presentation. Elisa, the floor is yours.
Thank you, David. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, taking the opportunity to come and learn more about Charles Schwab, the opportunities that we may have. We're excited about our guest speakers today to present the information regarding our organization and the infrastructure of the retail branch network. Really spending some time with you to help you understand the Schwab that you probably know, and maybe even the Schwab that you probably don't know, as well as hearing some of our branch managers, financial consultants, and leaders within the retail branch network talk specifically about the opportunities within our organization and the experience that we give to our clients, the support structure that's out there, as well as the opportunity should you be looking to make that change or to refer someone into our organization that's looking for an exciting opportunity. I'd like to take a few minutes just to introduce our speakers to you, and then we will get this kicked off and started. My name again, Elisa Monroe. I lead our Retail Branch Network Talent Acquisition Recruiting Team. I've been with Schwab for about 10.5 years and I've had an experience in a couple of different sides of the organization, but originally started within the Retail Branch Network, and I'm excited to be in this position as we're facing an opportunity to grow and to develop and evolve not only for the organization but out on the street for our clients. With us this afternoon, we also have Stephanie King, a regional branch executive for our Pacific Northwest region out of Bellevue. She has been with us for almost 12 years. Amy Reback, who is a market leader, recently relocated into our Lone Tree office, supporting the Midwest region for also almost 12 years. Jennifer Robinson, a branch manager out of Scottsdale, been with Charles Schwab for 20 years. Jen is a great staple of a supporter and an ambassador for our female investors, our female advisors, our female network across the entire Schwab organization. And Patrick Means, a financial consultant who sits in our Red Bank, New Jersey office, who's been with us about 5.5 years. Stephanie, I will turn it to you.
Hey, thanks, Elisa. Good morning, everybody from Bellevue, Washington. Really excited to be able to speak with you guys today in regards to what is happening here at Charles Schwab. Wanted to start with just a little bit of history lesson in regards to Schwab. We have been an organization in effect for about 40 years, and hopefully what you guys know about us is that we have really challenged the status quo over the last 40 years and revolutionized how investing has been done. Many of you will remember us as the discount broker who brought Wall Street to Main Street as we introduced online trading to the masses, with a lot of emphasis on educating our clients as to how Wall Street worked, how they could get educated to really get investing for themselves. We were also one of the first firms, you may not know, to introduce what's called the Mutual Fund Superstore, which allowed us to not only offer our own proprietary products, but a lot of third-party mutual funds all in one place. So things that we're really, really proud of that really is part of our heritage. What you may not know about Schwab over the last several years is we've really evolved into a wealth management firm, and so really excited to talk to you guys a little bit today about that evolution from a transactional discount broker to really a relationship wealth manager. You'll see there on the slide a lot of the beliefs that we have, and I would say the thing that's most exciting for me, and when I talk to people about coming to Schwab, what I say is you get to come to work every day and get compensated to truly help others and transform people's lives. And that's a pretty big ask and a big task, but also really allows us to be passionate about what we do because we know we're making a difference. Many of you will probably remember the Talk to Chuck taglines that we did in years past, and it was really about engaging our clients and encouraging them to ask questions. We've evolved that recently, and the new tagline is Own Your Tomorrow. When you think about that, it's really not just about talking about things, it's about taking action and doing something about things. And that's really this mantra of ownership and owning your tomorrow that you're going to hopefully hear and see a little bit more about today. When we look a little bit at Schwab and our goal, it really is this, championing. It's really about growth and our values and our purpose. And when you look at what we've been able to accomplish, there are some highlights there that talk a little bit about our revenue, the assets that we've driven, how many employees we have, our service centers and our branches. But the thing I want to point out that I think I'm most proud of really has to do with our beliefs as a culture. And I think it's those beliefs and culture that allow those tangibles that you're seeing there to really be driven. Our culture is based on 4 beliefs. Purpose, which is firmly in the center of the client. People, we know that we need the best people to execute on our goals, and we believe that we recruit and retain those. Courage. I've talked a little bit about some of the things historically that Schwab has done and where we're going to be going, and it's really exciting to be a challenger brand across the industry. And then this idea of collaboration, that we all work together towards a common goal. And I think those 4 things really not only drive our culture, but allows us to have high engagement to allow us to execute on the growth that you're seeing on this slide. You may not know, but we have recently achieved the largest brokerage firm in the United States is measured under assets under management, something that we're extremely proud of. And again, really falls in line with this idea of wealth management culture and what we're trying to do for the client. When we talk a little bit about the client and our purpose, you'll see there on the slide, champion every client's goals with passion and integrity. What you may not know is that Schwab actually has a promise to investors, and it's really unique to us. And our promise is across 5 categories: partnering, advice, choice, transparency, and value. And I wanted to share that because I find it a true differentiator in what we do here. When we talk about partnering, clients here at Schwab are not just numbers. It's really about getting to know them on an individual personal level and working with them on the terms that they want to work on. It's not about us pushing a product. It's not about us pushing a strategy. It's about truly finding out what the client wants to do and what's in their best interest. From an advice perspective, what you'll find at Schwab is that we provide commentary and insights across all sorts of experts, and that the advice that we provide, it's relevant, it's actionable, and it doesn't always cost a fee. And that's also something unique to us. From a choice perspective, we offer a lot of various investment options, and we lead, as I mentioned, in many aspects under assets under management. But it's all about choice, and we're not just pushing our own proprietary products. We're also offering great, strong products from other people across the industry. Big believer in transparency, very open and honest in all aspects of our relationship with clients, and that includes the fees that they may be paying for services that we provide. And then finally, value. We're a big believer that it's important what you do pay for advice, because over time that can make a big impact on the wealth that you'll be able to accumulate. So always trying to provide the best service, the best product at the least amount of cost. And so those are just the 5 promises that make us unique. Those are promises that we hold really dear, and we hold each other accountable to that. The other thing that I wanted to point out, which again is a differentiator, and I think really puts us top of mind when you talk about accountability, we have something called the accountability guarantee here at Schwab. And what that basically says is if you participate in an advice program here, and for whatever reason that advice program does not work out for you, you'll actually have the opportunity to have any fee that you may have paid be refunded for the previous quarter. I don't know any other firm out there that would put that kind of guarantee out into the public to say, hey, if we don't deliver, we're actually going to give you your money back. And again, I think goes back and speaks to our true purpose, which is delivering everything through clients' eyes. Wanted to share with you guys as we talk a little bit about Schwab. We have such a strong purpose, seeing the world through clients' eyes, and our vision is to be the most trusted leader in investment services, and it requires a really broad and diverse strategic framework. And so although I represent Schwab branch network today, which basically is about 325 brick and mortar offices across the country, there are other really important aspects of our business that I wanted to make sure I shared with you guys. When you look at the client service and support teams, those are our critical service centers, and we've got 5 of them across the country: Austin, Indianapolis, Denver, Orlando. I'm missing one, Phoenix, Arizona. So those are critical centers for us and hubs for us to be able to make sure that we can deliver on the service promises that we make to our clients. Schwab Private Client is a proprietary, non-discretionary advised offer. It's an extremely competitive offer and something that's unique to us. We actually provide that advice in-house to all of our retail clients across the country. And again, most of those advisors are located within our call centers, so another really important arm. Options Express, our heritage is in trading and online trading, and we are still true to that heritage and really take seriously the opportunities and services that we provide to our trading clients. So Options Express is a company that we acquired a few years back. It is a very sophisticated trading platform that we offer to clients. Advisor Services is actually an institutional arm that actually supports some of our independent registered investment advisors across the country. Retirement Plan Services, those are specialties in areas such as 401ks, stock plan services, equity compensation, and corporate accounts. Client Solutions is one I wanted to call out. So this is basically kind of our strategy team, and you guys may be familiar with really a revolutionary service that we offered earlier this year called Schwab Intelligent Portfolios, and that came from the Client Solutions division. And what that basically is a automated investment advisory service that allows you to build, monitor, and rebalance your portfolio, and you can do that from your mobile phone. Best part, no fees, no commissions, no service fees. We recently launched that in Q1. We're already above $3 billion of assets under management there, so another great product. And then the last partner that I'll share with you guys is Schwab Bank, and I always call Schwab Bank probably the best kept secret out there in the industry. It's currently the 15th largest bank in the country with $120 billion asset under management, and so it'll provide services such as checking accounts, savings accounts, mortgages, equity lines, and trustee services. So again, just wanted to highlight some of the additional divisions of Schwab that really come together to make us this wealth management firm that we're so proud of. One of the last things I wanted to highlight for you was directly involved with Branch Network, since that's the division that I represent. Branch Network, as I may have mentioned, is about 325 brick and mortar offices across the country. We currently have about 1,200 financial consultants that man those offices. And we are at a time right now where we are really looking to expand and grow our network. And so this is a really exciting time to be at Schwab. We are looking to actually double the number of freestanding offices that we have, as well as double the number of financial consultants that will be serving in those units. Something else for you guys to be aware of, we recently introduced financial consultant assistants. These are dedicated service and support specialists for our top performers that really allow them to focus on relationship building and give these individuals the opportunity to deliver on some of their service and relationship items. We are continuing to look at practice sizes. The average practice size here at Charles Schwab is about 325 households. We're actually looking to potentially reduce that number, which allows our financial consultants an opportunity to really get integrated in their local communities and organically grow their business through things such as networking events. And then finally, the last thing I'll mention is our training program. So we've worked really hard to develop a training and sales model that we think represents our culture so well. We recently rolled out a model called EDGE. It's a very basic sales relationship model, but it's ingrained in our culture, and it's all about engaging clients, discovering what it is they want and how we can meet those needs, positioning the product or solution that we think will help get them to where they need to go, and then finally continuing to enhance that relationship, because again, relationships aren't one and done transactions. They're truly about building lifetime relationships with those clients and their families from beyond. I'll pause right there because I know I've given you guys a lot of information and wanted to hand over the next talking points to Amy Reback. Amy is actually one of our market leaders out of the Denver area, and currently she's going to talk to you guys a little bit more about opportunities within the branch network. Amy?
Thanks, Stephanie. So good afternoon, everyone. And what I'm going to do is go over some of the career opportunities that we offer in the branch. And particularly on this first slide here, slide 14, you'll see what's really highlighted here is our financial consultant role, but there are a lot of other roles that we have available in the branch, and I'll get into those details on the next slide. But first, for the financial consultant role, you heard Stephanie talk about the Schwab promise and the accountability guarantee, and that, those two concepts really set us apart in this industry. And anyone that's considering a career in financial services, that's a really compelling argument to think about. How do you want to work with people? What drives you to become part of this industry? And if you could do all of those things in a way that did not put you at odds with the client, but in fact put you on the same side so that there was never any question that you had their best interests in mind, that makes for a very compelling argument for the opportunities that we have available at Schwab. So our financial consultants primarily, they connect with our clients through a relationship practice. And it's their job to service and grow those clients. And they do so by leveraging those relationships through financial planning, through providing the right solutions, through referrals, through centers of influence, and becoming involved in their community. They are expected to grow their business and grow their career. So they're really looked at as a business owner for their practice and their clients. Also, Schwab's brand is so incredibly strong and resonates so well with the individuals and our clients that we work with, and with folks that really want to be part of planning for their financial future and not just being told what to do, that we're the recipients of a large number of these leads that come through our call centers and into the branches because the Schwab brand has such a great reputation and is known so well. So we also look for folks that have an entrepreneurial spirit and that are able to become part of the community. Regardless of what kind of business you're building, it requires you to have a presence and to have people that know who you are. So we encourage our financial consultants to join boards and become part of a panel, whether it's at the local university or with the Boys and Girls Club. There's a lot of different opportunities and ways to become known as an expert in your field. And we'd like our financial consultants to be known as experts for wealth management, and we encourage them to get out there and build their brand that way. We offer a really compelling and competitive compensation plan, and most importantly, our compensation plan allows our employees to build a business and engage with clients on their terms and with their best interests in mind, and I think that's also a great compelling part that Schwab offers that not a lot of financial firms can say that. There's a number of career paths available in the branch network, and as I mentioned before, I'll get into the details on a couple of those in just a moment. But we also offer an opportunity to recognize our top performers through our Chairman's Club trip, and that's very prestigious here at Schwab, and it really provides our top performers to spend several days with our executive leadership to exchange ideas and really engage at a deeper level. So it's a great reward and, as I mentioned, very prestigious honor. If you'd like, there's a link here, and you can also look at the available opportunities or put your resume into our system, and we'll provide some more information on how to get that as well. But I'll move on to the branch roles and do a brief overview of each of these. So we currently have 5 core roles in our branch network at Schwab, and I'll give you a brief description of the main responsibilities and core function of each role. The qualifications are here on the slide, and I'm not going to go through that, but I'll give a brief description of each of these roles so you have a better idea of how they work with our clients and what role they play in our branches. So first we have the client service specialist role, and that includes our operations managers. And this is one of our most important roles in the branch network and at Schwab overall, because it truly is the face of Schwab. They're usually folks that are very service-oriented. They enjoy greeting our clients and working to help them make the most of their relationship with Schwab. And some of our client service specialists choose to stay in that role for a long time and follow a career path to becoming an operations manager. And others choose to start their branch career in the client service role and then pursue the sales career path, which opens the door for them to explore things like the financial consultant assistant or the associate financial consultant role. So let's talk a little bit about the financial consultant assistant role. This is a relatively new role within the last year for our branch network, and these individuals provide our senior or top performing financial consultants with a dedicated service and sales support resource, and that's in the financial consultant assistant role. So these folks leverage their resources and partners within Schwab, and they strive to provide a really outstanding client experience for our clients, while also learning how to manage a large practice from our most successful financial consultants. So it's really hands-on experience for them. The financial consultant assistant role can be a destination role that enjoy the team approach to working with clients, or they can choose to continue down the sales-oriented path and use their practice management experience to transition to a financial consultant role themselves. Now, our associate financial consultant role is slightly different, and it is a direct career path to the financial consultant role. It's not a destination role in itself. And the individuals in this role really garner valuable industry and branch-specific experience with our existing clients that have less than $250,000 of investable assets. And while they do that, they really gain experience in providing advice in financial planning. They're not managing their own practice of dedicated clients, and that's the difference between an associate and a full-time financial consultant. And the associate financial consultant population typically develops into the financial consultant role within about 18 to 24 months. So that brings us to the financial consultant role, which I've talked about a little bit already. But in more detail, these folks are assigned a practice of clients that have more than $250,000 of investable assets, and they are dedicated to this FC. And the financial consultant's goal is really to build relationships and provide expansive financial planning and wealth management products and services that meet the needs of their practice clients. And their focus is to provide those services and also grow their business through the lead flow that I mentioned earlier, the centers of influence and sitting on boards and building their brand within the community, and also some referrals that they get organically from their existing clients. The financial consultant role does take a team approach in a different way. Most of our financial consultants have not grown into the senior yet, so they don't have the dedicated assistant role. But they take a team approach, and they're really well supported with a ton of expertise in other departments, such as our fixed income specialists, retirement service support, active traders, Schwab Bank, Schwab Private Client, and some of the things that Stephanie mentioned earlier. And we provide them with a very clear career path to hone and develop their skills over the life of their career to grow into that senior financial consultant where they have a dedicated resource. And the other option is they can also pursue a leadership track to potentially become a branch manager. So lastly, but certainly not least, the branch manager acts as really the local business owner, and they are responsible from everything from coaching and developing their branch employees to direct responsibility for supervision and controls of their branches. They also partner with internal and external business partners to grow their business, and they really strive to grow and represent the Schwab brand in their local marketplace. So if anyone would like to learn more about these opportunities, Christine will be highlighting how to engage with Schwab at the end of the presentation today. But in the meantime, I'd like to hand it back to Alyssa, who will be leading a Q&A session with some of our current branch employees regarding some of these roles that I just mentioned. So Lisa, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you so much, Stephanie and Amy. That's such a great framework and setting the stage to really spend a few minutes here. I'd like to transition in to a Q&A session with Jennifer Robinson and Patrick Means, a branch manager and financial consultant in the day, doing the work, meeting with our clients face-to-face, and the experience that they have and the rewards that come from that. So Patrick, I'd like to start with you and ask for you to share with this group that's joined us this afternoon, and what would you say is the most rewarding aspect of your role in the financial consultant position?
Lisa, helping people and making an impact in their lives is the most rewarding part of being a financial consultant. Financial events such as transitioning to retirement or seeing a child off to college or even caring for an aging parent can be some of the most enjoyable and rewarding events, but also stressful. So being someone your clients can count on and partner with in their times of need, I can't think of what else could be more gratifying as a financial consultant.
Client relationships, excellent. Jennifer, what would you say for these individuals, as Amy set the framework for the actual positions, but as a typical career path for you as a branch leader when you think about your associate financial consultants in the branch and how they support that growth plan?
Sure. Thanks, Elisa. And hello, everyone from the Southwest, Arizona. So the associate financial consultant is really what we dub an apprentice role, where the AFC is observing, partnering, and really learning from the team of financial consultants, as specifically the senior financial consultants, in terms of managing and building a practice of clients. Once the core skill sets, for instance, relationship sales, developing client relationships, etc., are honed and mastered, then as an associate financial consultant, you're then given an opportunity to be promoted to a financial consultant. Regarding supporting the growth, AFCs are really encouraged to obtain their insurance license or other designations such as the CFP, and this is going to allow them to further develop their financial planning capabilities, which is a necessity for the FC role.
Love hearing about those career pathing opportunities. Patrick, I'll come back to you. Thinking about the financial consultant role and what's been most rewarding for you, but also what's challenging. So what would you say is the most challenging aspect of your position?
You know, Lisa, just like the most rewarding aspect of my job is helping people, believe it or not, the most challenging aspect of my job is helping people. You know, the challenge with people is that we're not perfect. We make mistakes, and sometimes we let others down. And there's going to be times when you think you're doing a wonderful job for your client, but they just don't seem to appreciate your efforts. There have been times where I've gotten a commitment from a client, and in the 11th hour they didn't follow through. And that's why it's so important to learn how to manage your own behavior when the outcomes of our clients' relationships don't always go the way we want them to. And over the years, Schwab has provided some excellent coaching and support, whether it was through my direct leader or corporate training, to help me get better at managing my own behavior.
Excellent. And Jennifer, what would you say are the 5 main traits you look for in a financial consultant? Patrick's described the role and what's rewarding and challenging for him, but what does it take to do that job?
So thank you. As a hiring manager, this is extremely important. So, and as Stephanie talked about earlier in the call, Schwab has really truly evolved into a wealth management company. You know, so the traits that I was looking for as a hiring manager 10, maybe even 15 years ago are so much different than what I'm looking for today. So, so of the 5, I would say number 1 is having adaptability and being adept at building relationships and having a great bedside manner. I always tell my team, clients don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So really a solid foundation in building client relationships and loyalty. I would say number 2 would be having an entrepreneurial mindset. Schwab gives a lot of freedom to financial consultants to think outside the box in growing the business, be it funding for unique client events or supporting or support in developing, you know, networking in your community or on charitable boards. So even though an FC is handed a practice of around 325 average households, we really want you to take an entrepreneurial approach and growing your business organically in addition to the assigned clients. So I would say number 2, entrepreneurial mindset. Number 3 is really being a great team player. At Schwab, it's paramount that you have great relationships and interact with business partners on a positive manner. They truly serve as what I would dub your advisory board, and a great relationship with them will really determine your growth success. Without them, you're really on an island with limited tools and resources. So definitely have a good team player mindset. Number 4, very important, I would say you really need to possess a consultative sales skill set. Schwab is a big believer in a structured sales process that's built upon a foundation where the client's needs are first and foremost. And I think that many of you have probably heard that mantra many times in the call this morning. And we do not support aggressive sales tactics. We don't look at a round peg square hole just to grow revenue. We're really about the client needs come first. So if you join Schwab, you will consistently hear that mantra, client comes first. And we do walk that talk. FCs are the client-facing steward in that mantra. And I would say the last, and just as equally important, obviously, is they have to be results-driven. At the end of the day, when you peel back the layers, did you drive growth as a financial consultant? Are you going to meet your sales goals and objectives? So Schwab will provide all the coaching and training and support you need to help to move the needle on the dial. But really, at the end of the day, the FC is accountable to meet those targets. So I would say to the audience, if you're not comfortable with sales or being assigned targets, then the FC role, financial consultant role, is probably not the right fit for you. But fortunately, as Amy talked about and Stephanie did as well, there are definitely other roles at Schwab where there is not a sales target or the foundation of the FC role being sales.
Thank you. And Patrick, if you could give one piece of advice to someone working at another firm about what they should consider in a career at the Charles Schwab branch network, what would that be?
Lisa, I would say to existing or new financial advisors to the industry to be open to seeing Schwab in a different light. Prior to coming to Schwab 5.5 years ago, I spent 7 years at another full-service brokerage firm. And at that time, I thought of Schwab as a discount broker for do-it-yourselfers with small amounts of money to invest. But the funny thing is, when I started looking to make a change in the investment firms that I was working for, and I began the exploratory process with Schwab, I was shocked and amazed at their breadth of services and the wealth of their clients. Whether it's ongoing portfolio management, occasional guidance, or if clients want to invest on their own, I can be the conduit to the service that best suits them and be rewarded on whatever relationship they choose. In addition, you're given a practice of approximately 200 to 300 households to cultivate, and you can expect their average investable assets at Schwab to be $1.2 million, and increasing that average will be your primary objective. Furthermore, expect the amount of time you currently spend prospecting for new leads to be cut in half. Schwab will provide a steady prospect lead flow through our 401k channel, internal phone teams, and walk-ins to the branch, while also supporting you in your local marketing efforts.
Very exciting. Thank you. So let's transition over for just a moment. We've heard about the retail network, the infrastructure, the support partners, the roles within the branch itself, actually from those in the day in the life experiencing servicing our clients and building those relationships. As Amy mentioned and Stephanie mentioned about the structure, there's a lot of folks that take to be successful to do this job and to service our clients, and our support partners are critical in that success. So I want to talk about what those additional opportunities are, and then how you can get in touch with someone at Schwab to learn more. And so I'd like to transition it over for just a minute here to a senior talent advisor within our retail branch network, Christine Lane, who sits in Chicago and supports this organization in helping us bring great talent to the firm.
Thank you, Elisa. As we have discussed the financial consultant role throughout the call today, we heard that they're managing the overall relationship and meeting the needs of our clients on a day-to-day basis. Part of their role, since we have so many opportunities from a product and service standpoint to support our clients, part of their role is connecting them with specialists within our firm. Schwab Private Client is one of our many advice offerings, specifically for affluent clients who have a minimum of $500,000 in investable assets. The portfolio consultant is an individual that's leveraged for all of those Schwab Private clients, freeing that financial consultant to focus on the client relationships. This portfolio consultant formulates, delivers, and implements all investment advice in clients specifically enrolled in Schwab Private Client with the assistance and support of our associate portfolio consultant. For those interested in implementing those strategies, overseeing asset allocation plans, and making recommendations, could consider opportunities where they're driving deep expertise to these clients enrolled in Schwab Private Client. We often find that some of our portfolio consultants are looking for that engagement and overall broad perspective of the relationship management and may transition into a financial consultant role. We also find that there are individuals that really want to get deep in terms of advice and being able to help with asset allocation, and their role is more driven towards Schwab Private Client rather than sitting in one of our retail branches. We do offer these roles specifically in a phone-based environment, and currently we seek those opportunities in Denver, Indianapolis, Phoenix, and Orlando, with opportunities that will be growing this business unit in Austin in 2016. One of the other roles as well, too, is obviously the team manager that is structured in that organization to coach, mentor, and guide those individuals that function in that leadership capability that we would see much like our retail branch managers, having that oversight capability, but really focusing on the really focusing on the overall coaching and guidance of those individuals within those service teams. Now, most of you have come here today to not only learn about the different opportunities and learn about the overall structure within Schwab, but the question not only becomes of what you've learned today, but how do you engage Schwab next? So transitioning into the next slide, I want to cover some opportunities of what happens now. What do you do? We absolutely want to expand and grow our Schwab Talent Network. So one of the suggestions that I would have today to engage in Schwab and our talent acquisition team is to register directly within our Schwab Talent Network. You'll see it up here on your screen. It will also be provided as a follow-up email to you as well, too. This link will take you directly to our talent network, where not only can you create and upload a resume, you can also create a profile and set up specific job notifications based on hopefully some of the opportunities that you've heard today, or explore potential career opportunities that might be outside of what we talked in depth in regards to our branch opportunities. In addition to that, we also list all of our careers on our career site. There's updated on a constant and consistent basis, so you'll see those current opportunities. If you don't find that there is a location or an opportunity that you desire today, setting up that profile and those notifications will help. But in addition to that, you're also going to find that our large talent acquisition team is very active within social media. LinkedIn, not only can you follow Charles Schwab, but in addition to that, you can also search many of our talent advisors within Schwab and engage with them and connect with them as well, too. We also have a tag on Twitter at Schwab Jobs. So feel free to follow us on Twitter as well, too, to see regular updates of career opportunities. You could also like us on Facebook, where there will be all types of information that you could not only learn about career opportunities, some events that we're going to have, but in addition to that, there's going to be valuable tools and resources as you consider your overall career planning. And lastly, you're more than welcome to contact us as a follow-up with any specific questions that you might have, either in regards to a role, compensation, Schwab, our culture, by emailing us at talent.attraction@schwab.com. We welcome those opportunities to engage with specific candidate questions afterwards, and you will receive communication from one of our talent advisors within our talent acquisition team. So to close, or before we close, please engage with us. Please ask us questions. We appreciate that you've taken the time to join us today to not only learn about our opportunities, but to learn what's next and how you can engage in future opportunities with Schwab.
Awesome, thank you. David, now we'd like to open it up for Q&A with our participants, those that have attended our event this afternoon.
Absolutely. Great presentation, everybody. And again, everybody on the call today, no worries about scrambling to write down these links. Everybody will be getting an email after the presentation with all of this information, as well as a link back to the recording of the webinar. But I'm going to jump right into some questions because we have some great ones starting to come in right now. But let's start out with the first few are easy here. What would you say, Elisa, would be the best way for somebody to be made aware of new opportunities, maybe as they come up, or, for instance, if there's not an opening currently in their market, is there a way that they can, any preferred way for them to be notified if something comes up in their area?
Christine, why don't you take that?
Absolutely. So by going to our career site, one of the benefits of uploading a resume, there are certain selections that you could make based upon the needs and wants that you have, as well as specific location. And we do the work for you. So taking into consideration that it's a daunting task to keep going back and refreshing our career site, let us engage and send you an email of those direct opportunities, whether it's specific to a skill set that you're looking for. Let's say, for example, if you're looking for any opportunities within client service or sales and business development, or if you're looking specifically in a market like Grand Rapids or Louisville, it will allow you to select those and have those email notifications sent specifically to you. So we're doing the work and emailing you directly to notify you as soon as those opportunities come available.
That's great. Would you also say that this would be the best way if somebody's maybe not quite ready to apply yet, but they just want to kind of keep their feelers out? Would the talent community be the place for them to go first?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Okay.
Not only would I recommend this, David, but I'd also recommend connecting with Schwab on LinkedIn. You will find that all of our talent advisors are very interactive within social media, specifically around LinkedIn. So I would absolutely encourage individuals to align specifically with our talent acquisition team or follow Schwab in order to see ongoing activity as well.
Very good. That's great. Next question here is, outside of the talent community, would the email address you give at the bottom of this screen, would that be the best way for somebody if they had a specific question they'd like to email somebody on the team?
Absolutely. And one of us will get back to us, one of us will get back to the candidates as quickly as possible to be able to address their specific question. But yeah, absolutely, that would be perfect.
All right, great. A lot of the roles today that were talked about are roles that are already requiring FINRA licenses or current. Do you all have any opportunities within Schwab for somebody career changing that's new to the industry, perhaps not yet licensed? Elisa?
Christine, why don't you talk about some of our opportunities, and then Amy, we can open it up to you to share some of those partner organizations also.
Sure. Absolutely. So in speaking in regards to individuals that are looking to get licensed or looking for specific opportunities to introduce themselves into financial services. One of the opportunities that we offer within our service centers, specifically locations today such as Indianapolis, Phoenix, and Denver, we offer our Financial Consultant Academy. Those are opportunities for individuals that are looking specifically to get licensed and learn the fundamentals of our servicing servicing roles to further their skill sets for future opportunities within our retail branch network for the financial consultant role. In addition to that as well too, we have broker trainee classes where we offer individuals a program that allows them to get licensed and work within not only broad but dedicated service teams to learn our service model, as well as develop skill sets to further whether they want to go into our retail branch network or explore other opportunities within specialized dedicated teams within Schwab.
Okay, great, great. A lot of licensing questions here. What about, do you sponsor somebody that maybe say has a Series 6 and a 63? Would you sponsor them and help them get a Series 7 if everything else was a good fit?
We do.
Jennifer, why don't you talk about the branch roles and those opportunities where we may have COEs?
Sure. So we have a couple of branch roles on the service side, which is the client service specialist, and there is a career path either into sales or into branch operations. And so I myself have hired non-Series 7 license applicants before, and there is a condition of employment that they do have to pass the Series 7, and it's been a while, I think it's 6 months, but we can double check on the time frame. But there are a lot of branch managers that are open to hiring non-registered CSSs, client service specialists, but there is a condition of employment, and that's something that the branch manager and Schwab can definitely support and help you with in terms of training and time to pass the 7.
Okay, very good. There's a few questions also a little bit about, you know, how financial consultants are compensated just kind of in general. And I guess can you talk a little bit about how a role with Schwab maybe differs from a full commission or straight commission type of role that's pretty common in the industry?
Stephanie, you want to take that question?
Yeah, sure. So as has been stated a few times, one of the big differentiators in Charles Schwab is that most of our financial consultants actually receive a book of business when they walk in the door. With that book of business, you actually have revenue that is being generated off that existing practice, and so there is what we call a service component, or what people may consider salary, that is assigned to that. But really the biggest opportunity, and I think the biggest upside potential in the financial consultant role obviously is on the sales side. And so we compensate based on net new assets that are brought into the firm, as well as advised solutions where money is basically annuitized into a fee-paying offer. Both of those levers will actually trigger a sales payment. Those payments are made on a monthly basis. And so there's really an opportunity. Most of our top performers, as you might imagine, make the bulk of their income on their sales component and less on their sales, quote-unquote, salary component. So there's a two-prong approach. The other thing I might mention, we do offer what's called Key Contributor Awards, which is an opportunity for our best performers to participate in equity in Charles Schwab on an annual basis. And those awards typically are in the range of about $25,000 per year.
All right, very good. Looks like we have a lot of licensed folks on the call as well today, and a few questions along the lines of, you know, if they can fit within multiple roles, what's the best way for them to maybe reach out and talk about some specifics? Do you all have a preferred method as far as one of the listed ways here, or is there any preferred way to talk with a recruiter specifically about, whether somebody's a portfolio, one of the portfolio roles or one of the branch roles?
David, that's an excellent question. They can email the talent attraction at schwab.com email address specifically, which routed to a talent advisor supporting a particular location or position that can have an informational conversation to answer those questions, to help guide them through what their experience is and how that matches or relates to a profile and requirements of a position at Schwab, whether that be within the retail branch network or a partner organization, a support team for those retail clients. Also just taking a kind of self-review of their experience and interests and really where their passion is, reviewing our career site. There's a lot of videos and links and commentary out there that talks about the day in the life, the culture of Schwab in general, as well as specifics into those positions that list out requirements. We try to be very clear for those individuals to understand how their experience, licenses, skills match to the requirements of our positions. And then from there, they can apply directly online so that their application or resume is presented to the talent advisor to review directly, who can then set up one-to-one interviews or conversations. So 2 different channels for them outside of all of our other social media opportunities, at least just to follow Schwab.
Great. Yeah, that's perfect. Next question. Do you all sponsor financial consultants to get their CFP?
We do, absolutely. Jen, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. I love that question because we actually very much encourage it. We do have a study program or training courses to allow them the best chance of success in passing it. In fact, I have 8 financial consultants on my team, and 6 have their CFP, and 2 are in the process of taking it in March, I believe. So branch managers definitely encourage it. It's a great credibility builder with clients, as well as helping you with foundations of financial planning, which is one of the biggest success factors for a financial consultant.
All right, that's great. Looks like there's a few on the call today as well that perhaps are licensed candidates, but they're in a compliance or more operational type of a role. Are these opportunities listed anywhere as well online for them to find?
There are. In fact, we do have several different arms of compliance, supervision and controls, legal, corporate oversight type opportunities. They fall more into our corporate functions type of organization. And in the profile and in the career search feature, they can select. There's a list of categories not only for locations, jobs, skills, experience that matches to their interests. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're qualified or that that's where their experience is today, but if that's where their interest is in making the transition, they can self-select those opportunities to find those positions as well.
All right, that is great. Couple questions here. Also, do you all consider relocation?
In some cases we do. We do look in the local markets, and as Jen mentioned, very specific to getting our financial consultants engaged in their local market, but we may have some opportunities, some levels of positions that may offer relocation assistance.
Okay, very good. That's great. That's great. Can you talk a little bit more about the portfolio consultant roles? And are all of these positions housed within one of those major markets you had talked about?
They are. Christine, you want to talk a little bit more about this partner organization?
Absolutely. So these individuals are situated within those service centers, as I mentioned, with the opportunities of the portfolio consultant. Their typical day-to-day is situated where they're having phone-based consultations, reviews with clients on an ongoing basis. So for example, we might have a portfolio consultant that's specifically aligned with branches or financial consultants where they're having partnership conversations to make sure not only
how and what type of relationship they're going to have with the financial consultants, but specifically talking about those clients that are enrolled in Schwab Private Client. It is an affiliate of Schwab currently, and those portfolio consultants are working in that organization on a day-to-day basis, making sure that they are helping maintain and grow the assets for those high net worth clients. You're also going to find that they're going to work with that associate portfolio consultant that's going to help deepen that relationship. So it is a phone-based role. They will spend a significant portion of their day in scheduled or proactive calls to not only maintain but deepen the relationship with those existing clients enrolled in that advisory practice.
Patrick, why don't you take a minute as a financial consultant today and talk about your partnership with the portfolio consultants and how that really adds value to your clients?
Yeah, thanks. It's funny because I was just talking to a client today who is going to be working with us in that capacity, and what I told her was, I love the fact that through the private client relationship, I can focus on the relationship building, the overall financial planning process, and then my portfolio consultant is focused a lot on the investment part, the investment recommendations of the relationship, and then the client is also going to have a dedicated service member. So we're working as a team, and as opposed to as the previous firm where I worked for, where I had to wear so many hats. I had to be the investment guru, the manager, the service person. Now this has freed me up to partner with someone to really give the client the best investment help that they can possibly get and focus solely on that.
That's great, and I think we have a couple minutes here to kind of wrap up. But I think this last question that was asked falls into definitely a strength with Charles Schwab, asking about, can you talk a little bit more about your client-centered, mantra, I guess, and a little bit also about work-life balance as far as how do you encourage employees to both advance professionally as well as personally.
Amy, how about you take that question?
Yeah, sure, exactly. I was just about to jump in. So I'll address the work-life balance part first, and that I think is something that everybody really has to establish for themselves, but I can say that it's very much supported here at Schwab. It's Schwab's a big company and it can be a busy place, but we highly encourage people to be with their families, to integrate their families. And I work here in Denver, and one of the things that I love is we have a cafeteria, like a little cafe in the bottom, and it serves a full breakfast. And at any day of the week, you can go in there and you can find families that have brought their little ones and their wives or their husbands to come in and have breakfast with them. So I always try and get over there to get coffee as much as I can because I love to meet everybody's little ones. But it's a very family-oriented company, and there has to be a balance there. And it's pretty evident even with our executives. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say that Schwab's own daughter, Charles Schwab's own daughter, Carrie, works here at the company and is a very visible part of our company. So it's very family-oriented. We encourage the work-life balance. Is there an established, you must work these hours and not work these hours? There's not. We give our leaders and our people the choices to make those decisions for themselves, and we empower them to make them when they need to, and we trust them to make them when we need to. And I think that's the most important thing that any company can do. If it's too regulated, it becomes, it's not genuine anymore. So we make it part of our mantra, and it's part of the expectations, but we expect people to be able to gauge when they need to have that time. As far as our client-centric culture that we have, I think the thing that we need to remember, that's important to remember here, is in any financial company, I think people intend to do the right thing. The difference at Schwab is that we stand behind it as a corporation. When you look at things like the Schwab Promise and the Accountability Guarantee, where else can you really go where they can say from a financial services firm, where could you go where the firm will say, the corporation itself will drive the initiative to say, If our clients are unhappy for any reason with their service or with their wealth management portfolio that we have put together with them, we will give those fees, if they've paid a fee, back to them. And that's a really big stand to take. You don't see that anywhere else. I think it's very easy to say we're very client-centric, but what do you have to back that up? And I'm more of an optimistic person, and I tend to believe that just about any person that works in financial services goes into work every day with the intention to do the right thing. But how much does the corporation that they work for back them up with that, with really broad and challenging, industry-challenging statements of, we will give you your money back if you are unsatisfied with this. We so firmly believe in what we do and how we do it and the value that we present to our clients that we are willing to stand behind that by saying, if you're not okay with this, then you shouldn't have to pay for it. And that's really unique. That's what sets us apart, and that's what allows us to say, we are different. We are really on the side of the client. We always have their best interests in mind. We don't have conflict of interest in the way that other firms might have. It's not an intentional thing, but because of the way they're compensated and because of the fee structures they put in, it ends up being a conflict of interest, even if it's not intentional. So that, I think, is the most important thing to remember, is it's not just us as great people that we attract, and it's not just our culture that we foster here at Schwab. It is all the way from the top saying this has to be the foundation that we stand on, and that's what sets us apart.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, and that's a perfect question to end on. We appreciate everybody's time today. For those of you that have asked questions and for some reason we didn't get to them, these questions will be forwarded along to the talent acquisition team at Schwab. And I'd like to thank all of the panelists today for a great presentation, and thank each of the audience members as well for your time today. This webinar has been recorded, and we will be sending out a link to everybody after the conclusion of this webinar in an hour or two with links to the page you're looking at right here with the various ways to connect with Schwab, as well as a link back to the recording. So keep an eye out for that email, and we want to again say thank you everybody for your time today, and this concludes today's webinar. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.